Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to F1 2020. This is the last question mark series. It's episode number 4, and this is also my uh-oh moment because we are 9 days away from my uh-oh track. It's the one that I loved. If you haven't seen the channel before, or even if you have, you might not have heard this story, but long story short, my first sim driving experience of any kind, and it was long before steering wheels were tied to consoles or anything like that. But back in, I think it was 95, F1 95. That was my first. I'd never even heard of F1, but that was the game I got for my original Sony PlayStation. Or was that a PS? No, that was an original Sony PlayStation back then. And loved the game. Got to know F1 a little bit. Still had never seen it on TV until some years later. Logged tons and tons of hours into it. It was definitely my go-to game for a long period of time. And then later, the next year, actually not even long after that, got my permit and started driving myself. But it was Monaco where I put the hours in for the most part. I did a couple full races on other tracks, but 99% of my time and effort went into Monaco. It was such a cool track to me. It was very playable back then compared to what it is now, though, or at least in F1 2019 and 2018, where I struggled mightily on the track. Didn't put in enough hours on that one individual track to get great at it. I could get around the track more or less in one piece, but the first race I ever did on there, I got lapped. Second race I did, I got lapped, but it was late. We'll see. I could obviously stay on the lead lap for a 5-lap race. I think the last time I did the last question mark series, I think I might have crashed out. So we'll see how I do with Monaco. But before we get to that, we've got to fill our calendar. We have 8 days to fill. So I think we're on for a 3-3-2. Doesn't matter the order on these. We do have a second sponsor available to us. So, a secondary sponsor, that is. So let's go ahead and take a look and see what can we do here. Qualify P10, no. Score 3 points in a weekend. What do we have? We take 5 drivers is the current one. Meanwhile, this one for like 5,000 less, 6,000 less, will do every week. It's only 5 laps. There's no reason that either of us would DNF. I haven't seen a DNF in the game yet. 5-lap races, they really avoid it. Let's go ahead and take that. Aero upgrade complete and successful. Crankshaft upgrade unsuccessful.
Formula One returns to Monte Carlo once again today, home to the world-famous Monte Carlo Casino, first opened in 1863. And, of course, a certain road race, first held here in 1929. There's no greater an occasion, no more valuable a win than the Monaco Grand Prix. We're on the French Riviera once more this weekend at the 2-mile-long Circuit de Monaco. The cars will climb around 40 metres up the hill, past the casino, and then descend downwards towards the harbour through Sector 2. It's a very short run from pole position to the first of the 19 corners at Saint-Devote.
We need you to get some early passes in if we want to improve on our last race finish. Give it your best shot.
Alright, the most important thing for this race is keeping the car in one piece. I'm starting from last place. I'm slow as it is. My plan is to get a terrible start so that I can hang back a little bit and get a good exit from turn 1 and make a run up the hill a bit. And maybe if I'm close enough there, I could do something. But I don't want to get hung up in something here at the start of this race. I know that I can produce decent race pace on most tracks, unlike this one for the most part. And I have pretty good awareness of where other cars are, so I don't generally just run into them or something, other than the occasional where I outbrake myself and run out of corner where I'm desperately trying to make a pass. But in general, I've got good awareness compared to others. But it's my racecraft. It's the overtaking that's difficult for me. I'm not great in that area. So that's one of the reasons to do this series. That's why I started the original one in F1 2019, was to get better at it. And I have gotten much better at it. But let's see if we can put that to use with something, some type of result. For me, a win today is not being last place. Well, let's get to it and see what we can do here at the Monte Carlo Grand Prix. I'm going to be slow off the line. I tried to be slow off the line, as my gamepad just made that a little more difficult for me. There you go, there's the overtake. Give me space, give me space. We've done it, 21st. That's exactly what I was going for. Slow off the line, but strong enough through turn 1 that I could get a little run, and it paid off. As I get a bump from behind. There's nowhere to go, nowhere to go, nowhere to go. He's hitting me from behind. It's not cool. Oh, come on. He pushed me into the wall. Giovinazzi's got to have a penalty after that. He just shoved me straight into the wall.
It'll need replacing if it takes too much damage.
And it's destroyed. Can I go back early enough? Oh, man. It puts me right back to where he's already pushed me into the wall. So, there we go. This time I defend, and I get a warning. Great, as if this wasn't hard enough already.
Alright, let's focus now. It's to the race.
Oh, come on.
Be careful with the front wing. You've taken some minor damage. Check your MFD for a new strategy option.
Come on. Oh, it's so hard to make these tight corners. And it's already hard to make them, especially without setup, without practice. Alright, well, that's lap 2. The big thing is I'm not last place. I will
use your overtake button more. It's time to utilize
defend
this energy
to the end here against Gio, because he's done this to me. He's ruined my race. It's so hard to make that corner there at Casino Square. Oh, he's nowhere near me. He's 25 seconds behind. He pitted. He took his own wing out, taking me out.
Okay, take it easy on the car. We can't sustain this level of damage.
I'm having to take it a lot slower through corners. I'm having to lift and coast a little bit here and there. I definitely don't have the turn radius that is normal of an F1 car. Especially right there. I'm losing a second and a half every time.
DRS is being enabled this lap. We can use DRS when you are within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
See, for a bit I wasn't too far behind those guys. Remember, I am a couple points better off AI-wise, and they're still in distance, so it's not over yet. But it's going to really depend on how quickly I can kind of navigate through here and coming out of it. Real hard for me. I'm wrenching hard on the wheel, by the way.
To manage manage this, we'll need to lower our ERS deployment mode.
Oh, great. It was only at 60%. Okay, I've lost 2 seconds to Geo, but it's only 2 and a partial laps that I have to hang on now. Okay, that was better. Brake a little earlier, I can turn it in a little better through there.
Very worn out MGUK. Our battery charge speed is suffering, and if it gets much worse, we could be forced to retire.
Oh wait, that should be fine. Definitely not my normal drive through here, which, like I said, isn't great to begin with, but damage on the wing when we're already, remember, we have only 2 upgrades to the Arrow. We are slower than everybody else in this department. Potas fastest lap there. It's Raikkonen ahead of me. Not pulling a Verstappen through here at least.
This is your final lap of the race.
Oh, that makes me excited. Final lap, good, sector 2 and 3. Green for both of those sectors. Adjusted nicely. Still 20 seconds ahead of Gio, so I will not be last place. Got that one pass in, but then the chance at more was definitely ruined in his impatience through here, shoving me into the wall. Took his own wing out, ruined both of our days. But like I said, I had low expectations. At least I beat Gio.
It's looking a little worn. Power output will be less than optimal.
Bottas has won the race. Almost too late on the brake there.
Is 5.9 seconds.
Hey, that's not that bad. 6 seconds back with damage. With damage, without practice. I'll take it. Race done. Not last place. So, little victory. Little victory. 21st place, not good. Let's go ahead and take the results. Leclerc, driver of the day. So I technically started from 20th after penalties for Raikkonen and Giovinazzi put them in the back. But of course we backed off right at the start. So they pushed ahead through that first turn, and then I overtook Giovinazzi going up the hill. That ultimately put us in that 21st position where we finished. And of course any chance I had of going higher was made so difficult by that simple fact that Giovinazzi there through Casino Square shoved me from behind into the wall, sending himself into the pits to get a new front wing. He ends up finishing 18 seconds back, so he gained 7 seconds in clean air on me, but otherwise I did remain within 6 seconds of the back of the grid. So for me, that's huge. Like I said, Monaco used to be, not so long ago, like last year, this is the first time I've driven it this year, a place where I was finishing a lap down or just within a lap. The last time I raced Monaco, I was lead lap. Actually, I think it was one of these. It was the last question mark series last time I drove, last couple times I drove. I think one of them was a DNF, and one of them was definitely off the back. But, you know, like this, it was 10, 15 seconds back. So only being 6 seconds back, considering that I was carrying damage, I think is pretty dang good. I mean, my 1:18.6 was faster than Delatraz and others, so it just was definitely slower than the bulk of the field. So it's still not good, and I could and should be faster. I should have been in the 1:17s, but maybe without the damage, I might have been. So, it wasn't that bad of a run, all things considered. It's just Gio had to go and push me all the way through that corner and eventually lift my rear end up enough that it drove me into the inside wall. In terms of Drivers' Championship, a first place finish for Bottas and Hamilton down in 4th after only qualifying 5th definitely hurt his position in the standings a bit. Bottas has pulled away at this point. He's almost got a full race win lead over Hamilton. It's still early in the season, but he has definitely got the momentum at the moment. Verstappen doing no man's land in 3rd ahead of the 2 Ferraris that are very close like last season, and then Albon well behind but also well ahead of the midfield. Certainly not doing a Pierre Gasly or anything where he's getting lapped in Austria or anything like that. He's still very much dominant, and so far through a couple of races in real life similarly. Ricciardo, 10-point gap, kind of doing what he did in F1 2019, dominating in the Renault comparative to the rest of the midfield. It's nice to see the Racing Point does have some points, but it's one thing that's really jumping out at me right now. Ricciardo has 36, Sainz has 26, and then Perez is in 9th with 11, and Norris 9, and Ocon with 6. Kvyat grabbing some points. He's got 4 now, and Stroll just 1 point. That, I think, is the unrealistic part, is that Stroll. It's weird to say this, but Stroll is better than that. That car, with Stroll behind the wheel, is better than that. Stroll's not Perez, but I'm kind of over dogging on Stroll. He's improved a lot. I think he's finally, after years of experience in F1, is finally up to par with, like Giovinazzi or Magnussen or Grosjean or Latifi, back of the grid kind of guys. But the car brings him up. Kvyat, I think he's just about as good as those guys now. Not just the worst driver on the grid anymore, but it's taken him years of extra experience to get there. We still lead the way on the constructors of those who have not scored yet. That's a good sign. Let's go ahead and jump into our next race. So we're in Azerbaijan for round number 8 in the championship. Back-to-back races on street circuits is a real challenge for these 2 races. However, I'm much better here. In fact, in the past, I have been the quickest on this track in a Williams a couple of times back in F1 2019 career mode by season 2. So, didn't manage to get a podium, just missed a podium. I think I also managed to get about a P6 the next time around, the 3rd season, after taking some damage. So it's a track that I can definitely find some pace on that I don't quite find pace on in others. But that doesn't mean it's going to be easy, and overtaking is going to be a real challenge because of the nature of being on a street circuit. I do have an engine upgrade that failed last time, is ready this time to the crankshaft, so we have a little more engine power than we had a week ago and in previous races. Can that amount to something? It's still going to be really hard to get around here without but 2 aero upgrades. I do have a 3rd one on the way now, so we'll see if that helps us out down the line. But for now, it's tricky. Long straight. The engine power is going to be good for that, but can I keep it clean? Can I stay in the right position to get those overtakes done every once in a while? Can I at least move up a few spots, maybe more? We'll see. With that, we're in Azerbaijan, and let's go racing. 5 red lights are up. My teammate Delatraz starting in the next to last position on the grid. Long wait. I was a little slow. Latifi blocks me off. They're able to cope. Oh! Boy, that was very sudden. That was a very, very sudden, hard braking. I didn't see it in front of me. Okay, there you go. From here. Kvyat was, yeah. How do I have a warning for a collision with Latifi? We never touched. Ooh, cold tires. To the inside of Latifi. Can get the traction off the corner. Overtake button. Alright, that's 1 done. Could still get backed up here, even for this next corner. Latifi trying to come back at me. Delatraz also got a good start. He's battling with Kvyat now. Gotta be patient through here. Those guys are already too wide. I don't need to get into the middle of that. Try to get a run off this corner. Ooh, little touch. Little too much curve. That curve's not as forgiving as it used to be. Ooh, I'm struggling to turn. Did I take damage in that little touch?
Good job.
I must have taken heavy damage. What has happened to my... I'm not turning. I am not turning, like, at all. Why, game? Wait, why is my right front? I touched on the left side. What happened to the wing? Why? Oh, so this seems to be a bug in F1 2020. I've heard multiple... Arva's talked about it a couple times. I've heard others talk about it. You used to get this instant pop-up when you took damage to the car, giving you feedback, and I'm not getting that at all. So, turn that back on for a little bit. So, I really struggled. No downforce. I mean, remember, we've got little downforce to begin with, but you take it away with a damaged wing, and just screwed. We catch back up on the long straight, but I don't know how. I'm gonna really struggle to turn in. We'll try to keep up with Latifi here, but... I'm having to slow down a lot more, and I'm having to get on the gas a bit earlier, so it's very, very squirmish. So I thought I did damage to the left front there, but that wasn't the case. I never touched anyone. Did they think I touched? Wow. Well, there goes the other. I couldn't turn in there at all.
If you think you can get past, make use of the overtake button and see what you can do.
Saving it mostly for the long straight. You know, we are just about close enough to Latifi here. I might be able to get a run. Oops. I mentioned that once before. The overtake button is very close to where the pause button is. On my Thrustmaster T150 wheel. Okay, not close enough.
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone.
Easy pass, nice. I thought I was gonna have to wait till next lap. we were on standard fuel mix too. We just got close enough by the end of the straight when I had turned it down. And we're actually catching Delatraz and who was that in front of him? Magnus Kvyat. There we go. Woo! There's that oversteer again.
We're monitoring somewhere on the ICE. Be aware that we'll start to see a loss of power.
So far so good. Things really are actually going quite well, considering the damage we took. Again, I have no idea where the right front wing damage came. There was no contact with Latifi, but I got a warning about it. I was nowhere near him. At least I could still make this quarter here.
We're accumulating some wear on the MGUK. To manage this, we'll need to lower our ERS deployment mode. You're pulling out a second lap on the car behind.
Ready to go to the outside here. Oh, he's covering me off. Last thing I want is to take my teammate out. He is pretty slow. I think we can get him if we can stay close. Anyway, we can get him on straightaway. Just got through there. Okay. Back into Rich Mix. Yeah, we'll get him. So we're gonna have DRS as well.
Okay, take it easy on the car. We can't sustain this level of damage.
Okay, here comes the DRS. There's the DRS zone. Okay, we got him. Come on, come on. He's got that same engine power I do.
This is your final lap of the race.
We'll get him here. We'll get him here. Oh, sorry, Delatraz. Sorry. He's going inside. We'll take outside. We'll get him under braking. We got him. Boss is coming. Get out of the way. Now let's see if we can actually finish this race.
Small signs of wear.
Just a little ERS left.
The gap to the car ahead is 2.0 seconds.
Oh yeah, we're good. Just really struggling to turn now. I took that extra damage coming up into the back of Delatraz. Ooh, that was close. He wasn't going forward anyway, so... Big run there. Needed that. Had to get on a little early. Otherwise we're going to lose it here. Barely made it through that time. We're going to run out of our ERS here soon. And Delatrans is coming. He's probably going to have wing open. He does. He does. Here he comes. Ah, we got him. Okay, we stayed ahead.
That's the end of the race. We'll see you in Parc Ferme.
I haven't been as proud of a 20th in a while. That was all on me. Other than that initial wing damage, right? Let me know if you saw. I'll watch this back later when I edit, but I didn't see any contact with Latifi through there, and that had to have been where I got it because it was right away at the start of the race. So I thought maybe my little brush with the wall on the left there was what did it. That was just wheel.
I think a large part of the result comes down to tempo.
No wing. The wing was fine at that point,
when everyone around them was
but it made the race so much more difficult.
To get the best out of the car, to maximise the strategy, and to stay out of trouble.
But we gained 2 positions at least.
So after a magnificent race, we can now see the drivers making their way to the podium.
Another win for Bottas.
Once again, it's the Silver Arrows who take top spot. A well-earned victory. So, let's review the drivers' standings. More points for Valtteri Bottas, further solidifying his lead at the top of the table. Some amazing talent out on the track today, but Anthony, who would you pick as your driver of the day?
Difficult call, but I'd like to say Esteban Ocon. He's just so gifted at getting the most out of his tyres, and he showed that today.
Let's move on to the Constructors. Mercedes continue to extend their lead. Meanwhile, Ferrari have improved their position. A strong weekend from them as they fight their way towards the top. Well, that was certainly an incredible weekend of racing. Be sure to join myself and Ant for more exciting Formula One action soon.
So after a 3-4 finish from the Ferraris, with Red Bull just down at 6th and 7th, we see Ferrari jump Red Bull in the standings, and then we also see Alpha jump us, as both of our cars were at the back in 20th and 21st. So Alpha still has not scored a point, but they ended up with an 11th place by Kimi Räikkönen to jump me, where I've had a 12th place finish as best of the non-scorers. So we've got our work cut out for us if we are going to move back up the standings. It looks like I'm going to have to get up into the points in order to do so. Easier said than done. But we get off these street circuits. We've already got some strong engine upgrades. If I can get a couple aero upgrades to get the car turning a little bit better to go along with some decent power, maybe, just maybe, I could start fighting my way through the field, especially at some place like, say, Sochi, where passing is pretty easy, and one giant, long, sweeping curve around the traffic circle and the Olympic flame. That's one where the AI generally goes quite a bit slow, and I can make passes inside or out with a nice wide track. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Thanks for tuning in. Be sure to hit that like button, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there, and bye for now.